What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for another live Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle against a subscriber/follower on Twitter. Today we're going up against Blake in a mixed tier match. We're bringing the same team as last time, so if you watched the last battle, you'll be very familiar with this team. I accidentally hit the button, so we're gonna have to make this intro a little bit quick because we just kind of got thrusted in here. Friendly little reminder, of course, you know, if you guys would like to show your support, you can always leave a like on the video. It does help out when you guys do that, or you can leave a comment down below if you have suggestions, or you just want to leave your thoughts, whatever it may be. The suggested Pokemon from you guys that I got from the comment section that I'm bringing on this team is Laura the Lapras. It's Assault Vest, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, I need to catch my breath here. I kind of just I sped through that. We also have Nidoqueen, which is going to be our offensive Stealth Rocker. We have specially defensive Dragonite, which is our 1 OU Pokemon, which is the max that I set when I was asking for this battle. We have Choice Bandit, Unpheasant, Nasty Plot, Focus Sash, Infernape, and physically defensive Fortress, which is basically just our hazard setter. My opponent looks like he has, he's got Blastoise and Aerodactyl on the same team, which is interesting, because one of them is not Mega, obviously. I'm going to say the Aerodactyl is probably Mega. Probably. And he's probably also going to just start off with Galvantula. So, I am going to lead off with Nidoqueen because I have a bit of a plan here. Bit of a plan. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we're going to give it a go. Depends on what that Blastoise has. He does lead off with the Galvantula, which is to be expected. And he's going to set up Sticky Web on this first turn, so I'm going to take this opportunity to go for the Earth Power, because I think there's almost no chance that he's going to switch in Aerodactyl on this turn. I think he just has to get that Sticky Web up. That's what most players that use Galvantula do. So we'll at least bring it down to the Focus Sash on the following turn. Because he cannot Volt Switch, I think he's just going to Hard Switch. And we can use that opportunity to set up Rock so that Galvantula cannot come back in. And at that point, you know, we can then get our Fortress in, Rapid Spin the Sticky Web away, and just be done with it. Now, the only downside to that is that he has a Blastoise, which could potentially have Rapid Spin to get rid of the rocks that would, you know, get rid of the Galvantula upon re-entering. So we will need to get rid of that, or mitigate that somehow. I don't have a spin blocker on my team, unfortunately, but my opponent does not either, which is good news for us getting rid of that Sticky Web. Alright, so the Amoonguss comes in, and he pretty much had to do that because he just did. It's probably a specially defensive Pokemon. It's got Regenerator. I'm going to predict a Spore because that's what Amoonguss always does, and we're going to go into our beautiful Overcoat Fortress. Free switching, hopefully. We're going to get caught in the Sticky Web, which is unfortunate, but Bax is already slow as can be. And there's the Spore. It's the second time in 2 battles that I've used this Fortress that we got to use the Overcoat. And now we get a free Rapid Spin off. We're immune to the Poison-type stab. Sludge Bomb will do absolutely nothing. We 4 times resist Giga Drain. Unless he's packing the HP Fire, I'm not really afraid. I'm not. And he is just going to Hard Switch out into Blastoise, which is, I don't know how I feel about that, because he's probably going to get a free Rapid Spin off as well, so we will have to reset those rocks. But we haven't taken any damage yet. Taken no damage on this entire team. So I'm feeling pretty good. We got rid of the Sticky Web. The Galvantula is down to its Focus Sash, and all my Pokemon are at full health. He is going to get that Rapid Spin off, though, as I mentioned. And we saw the lefties on the Blastoise, so it's not Mega. It is not Mega. That means the Aerodactyl is Mega. Which is scary because it just is. It just is. Laura could take on the Aerodactyl, but Stone Edge is a problem. So that means we really can't take on the Aerodactyl. So I will switch in Laura here. In the off chance you want to go for a Water-type move, but I don't think you're going to. No, he is just going to go for the Rapid Spin, as I said, probably like 4 times. There's the Rapid Spin. Goodbye, Stealth Rocks. We will have to try to find an opportunity to set those up again to make sure that Galvantula can't talk. Talking too fast. We want to make sure that Galvantula does not come back in and set up that Sticky Web again. He opts to go for the Toxic this turn. So, poor Laura. Poor Laura is poisoned. But we get the T-Bolt off, and that does a butt ton of damage. I'm not so certain that that is specially defensive Blastoise. That leads me to believe that you are either physically defensive or you're like max special attack, max HP, or like a tank set or something. I don't really know. That just did a lot of damage for a non-stab move, and it's not like I'm boosted by Life Orb or anything. I'm Assault Vest. And now we'll go for an Ice Beam, predicting the Amoonguss to come out. There is the withdrawal. I don't think he's going to let his Blastoise go down, obviously. Yep, and there's the Amoonguss. So I'm actually making some decent predictions here. Now, that'll go down the drain as this battle progresses, because that's what happens. Either I make oh my gosh, the freeze! The freeze! Oh, that's disgustingly bad. That is disgustingly bad. I mean, I'm not going to apologize because it's not my fault, but I feel for you. Freeze is... That's just terrible. That's just terrible. I've been on the wrong end of freezes that have just cost me matches. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know I've lost a couple matches just because of a freeze. It's extremely frustrating. I'm guessing he's going to want to switch here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was talking about my prediction game, which is actually on right now. Usually how it works is, most of the time, my prediction game is bad at the beginning. I'm terrible. I make bad decisions or just reckless decisions, or I overpredict and I lose a couple of Pokemon. Then I get into a groove and I make comebacks. I don't play with the lead a lot. You know, if you've watched the channel, I don't have a lead a lot of the times, even in the matches that I'm winning. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, this time around, I'm actually making good predictions at the beginning of a match, not something that I'm used to doing. The beginning of the match is usually where I make mistakes. So we're going to set up Stealth Rock here. Oh, I thought he might switch there. You're going to leave a Ludicolo out on a Nidoqueen? Like, I could have just Sludge Waved and you would have been dead. You would have been dead unless you were completely specially defensive. He sets up the Rain with a Rain Dance. And you have Swift Swim, so you outspeed now. Now, the question is, what do I want to bring out? We could... switch out Lapras. And that's really my only switch here, isn't it? Yeah, nothing else wants to take a Scald, or a Surf, or a Hydro Pump, or whatever you're going to go for. Rain boosted. I mean, I guess Dragonite could. Puff could probably take that, but the Rain is a thing, and Ice Beam, I would be dead the following turn. So we're going to go into Laura here. And there's the Scald. That is going to get us back up to full health, which is fantastic. We're going to take, the increased residual damage due to the Toxic, unfortunately. But we wasted a turn of Rain, which is great. Now, the question is, do you have Damp Rock? I mean, you're going to go for Giga Drain here, but we have the Assault Vest, so I feel okay. We took that actually pretty darn well for that being a stab move. That was... very good, actually. And Ice Beam doesn't do anywhere near as much as I wanted it to. I wanted that to be over half. We don't see the Rain Dish, so that confirms that he's Swift Swim indeed. Because I guess he could have been Rain Dish, defensive. That's a thing. We're not going to win this battle, because he's going to get HP back due to Giga Drain. And I really don't have anything to switch in. I really do not. And if he has the Damp Rock, because we haven't seen an item yet, this Rain is not going away. So we need to try to get him into a range where Vacuum Wave could kill, I guess. And, okay, so he's not Damp Rock. He is Citrus Berry. Citrus Berry Ludicolo. Interesting. And that actually helps us out because we've burned quite a few turns of Rain. That was 3 turns. And we're going to go down here. Somehow we survived the Toxic with 6 HP, but we can get an Ice Shard off. And he goes for the Giga Drain, and he's not going to recover as much as we did to him. So at least we have some positives there. But we did, unfortunately, lose Laura in the process, which she was probably our best at sponging special attacks, even though we have a fully specially defensive Dragonite. That Assault Vest, combined with the good natural special bulk that Lapras has, she can take any hit. Even super effective hits very well. Alright, so we're going to go out into Paw here because the rain has stopped and we finally were able to time that. Well, not finally, but thankfully was the word I was using. And now we can U-turn because U-turn will kill this. And yeah, there we go. He's going to leave it out, and that is a dead Ludicolo. Ludicolo does not have the best physical defense. I think its special defense is might even be base 100 or base 90. It's actually pretty good, which explains taking those Ice Beams. But U-turns from a Choice Bandit on Pheasant, no dice. So the Ludicolo is down. And now what do we want to go into? I really would like to get up hazards. We need to get up hazards for that Galvantula. I don't want him coming back in and setting up Sticky Web. And yeah, a Rapid Spin at this point would kill. So he needs to be careful. If we send out Fortress, he cannot send out the Galvantula. He needs to send out something else. He's going to send out the Blastoise. He takes a little bit of damage due to the rocks that we have up. And so I guess it wasn't that necessary to come in and try to set up hazards, but it was more of a, I want to block Galvantula for getting up Sticky Web. What was I talking about? We have rocks up. The Galvantula can't come in anyway. Sometimes I do and say stupid things. Just about half the time, ignore me as he goes for a Rapid Spin here. We're going to Volt Switch out. So there goes the rocks. Now he could potentially bring the Galvantula back in. Now I'm actually making sense. Just ignore everything I said prior to that, because it made no sense as to what was actually happening in the battle. That was just, there was no helpful insight there. Volt Switch actually almost took out this Blastoise. And now we're in a situation where we can just pick this off. And the question is, how do we want to do this? We could just send in Chimpino and just go for a Vacuum Wave to finish it off. We can go into Pa and go for a U-turn again, in case he wants to switch and we can get some momentum going. We pretty much have our pick here on how we want to do this. We could even send out Nidoqueen, and that's what I'm going to do. We'll go with the Nidoqueen. We know this is defensive. He's not going to have any speed investment, so I'm not really worried. Not really worried whatsoever. So we can just go ahead and set up Stealth Rocks again. And we'll see what you want to do. Play a little bit of a mind game here. Probably thinks we're going to try to take him out. So he might just switch to try to save this Blastoise. If we get rocks up, you know, that puts us in a great position. No, he stays in. He's going to maybe go for the Rapid Spin again. No, he opts to go for the Scald. Okay, and we're safe because that's not going to take us out. He does not get the burn on the Scald either. He's going to get that Lefty's recovery, but this Blastoise is as good as dead now, and the rocks are up to stay, unless something crazy happens here, and like this was a speed tie or something, but it shouldn't be. So now the question is, what do we want to do to take out this Blastoise? Do we just go for Earth Power? Or do I want to go for an Ice Beam predicting like the Amoonguss or something? I'm just going to go for the Earth Power. I don't think he's going to switch into Aerodactyl, and he does not. He just lets Blastoise go down. And this is great, because now the Galvantula cannot come back in. That is just gone. He's just has an extra Pokeball on his side that is essentially empty. And the Aerodactyl is going to take 25% coming in, which is what he decides to bring in now. This is going to be Mega. There's the pressure. That means nothing, obviously, because he's going to gain Tough Claws. So essentially, this is 5-3 right now. Because like I said, way too many times the Galvantula is as good as gone. So we just need to... I'm trying to get myself to remember that more than tell you guys, because you guys heard it 100 times, and you're smart people, you understand how battling works. I don't need to explain that to you, but it's more for me. This is my thought process. I have to keep reminding myself of that, because you play different depending on how many Pokemon your opponent has. If you think your opponent has an extra Pokemon there, you know, that could change things. He gets a meaningless crit on the Earthquake to finish off Nidoqueen. And at that point, I was just holding on to Nidoqueen to ensure that we had rocks up. So we got rid of the Rapid Spinner and got the rocks up. We could not ask any more of the Nidoqueen. So we can let her go down now. And now we can get a safe switch into basically whatever we want. And that is going to be Puff. Because I would love to T-Wave this thing. This thing outspeeds my entire team. Looking at my team, it could actually just take out the entire team. Especially if he has Hone Claws. And he can set up, ensure that Stone Edge doesn't miss. He is going to go for the Hone Claws. That's scary. That is very scary. Yeah, and he resists Fire Blast from Chimpino. Lara is gone. So having this thing paralyzed and Lara still alive would help us out. That's not the case. Fortress, obviously, is not going to do much. Nidoqueen wouldn't have done much. So, yeah, I mean, look. Dragonite is weak to Stone Edge. So after a Hone Claws boost or two, that might just KO through the multi-scale just because I'm not physically defensive. Unfezant will die to 1 Stone Edge without Hone Claws. Fortress might be able to take 1. I really don't have much to take this out. And Chimpino, of course, has his Focus Sash, and we might have to use that at some point. And we might actually just have to get rid of his Stone Edges. We might have to just PP stall him a little bit. I don't know. I don't have much to handle this. He does opt to go for the Stone Edge here after the Hone Claws boost, and that is... that might not be a 2-hit KO. At +1? That's crazy talk. That is crazy talk. Bags. There's an S there. Pronounce that. Bags is a little bit bulkier than I was giving him credit for. I'll admit that. Now, we could set up spikes, but I don't know how that would really help us. I opt to go for the Volt Switch, and for some reason, I thought this Aerodactyl would still outspeed. But that is not the case, because of the paralysis. I mean, Fortress is so slow! I figured surely Mega Aerodactyl would outspeed that. He goes for the Stone Edge. Ugh. And we do take that thanks to the multi-scale. That was not pretty, though. That was not pretty at all. And at the maximum, his Stone Edge would have 8. And what, we've used... That was 2? So we have to get through 6 more. That is disturbing because all of them are going to hit thanks to that Hone Claws boost. What I really need to do is Dragon Tail you out, but that's not going to happen here. So that kind of messed everything up. So I'm going to go back into Bags here. And he's paralyzed and he can't move, which is unfortunate. That is the downside to paralysis, unfortunately. And that's something that I really don't like. I wish they didn't do that. I wish that wasn't an added effect of paralysis. I wish it just lowered your speed. And that was it. Because that's essentially really the only reason that I like using paralysis. And I don't use it often. But yeah, it just seems kind of silly, especially because you can then do power flinching and stacked percentages. And that's just nonsense to me. But anyway... So that is unfortunate, but he did get a roost off afterwards, and that is going to make this even more difficult. Because I thought I really had worn him down. I thought the rocks are really going to help us there. We got some more lefties recovery, so as long as he doesn't get a critical hit, we're definitely surviving another Stone Edge, but it's like, this is not good. The upside to this is that means that I think we've seen all of his moves. We saw Stone Edge, we saw Hone Claws, we saw Roost, and he used Earthquake on Nidoqueen. So if we can stall out the Stone Edges, and he gets a critical hit! What did I just say? Barring a critical hit, Fortress was fine to take a hit. Oh, man, that is a bit annoying. But, you know, he was fully parried, so I guess I can't get too upset about it. It's a little frustrating. And what, that's 3 Stone Edges now? So if he didn't use PP ups, he's got 2 more. If he did use PP ups, he's got 3 more. Or, not 3 more. 5. 5 more, right? Yeah, because it would be 8. Okay, I can actually do basic math. I did graduate 4th grade, just so you know, in case you were wondering. Out comes Puff again. And we're just in a tough spot. I'm going to sub and make him waste another, what do you call it? Another Stone Edge. Why can't I think of words today? My goodness. And he's paralyzed and he can't move. And that is very important. Because I can do a couple of things here. I can Roost and allow myself to get back up into the multi-scale range the turn after. Or I can just Dragon Tail you out and be done with it. Not necessarily done with it, but just, you know what I'm saying. You probably don't know what I'm saying, but I'm going to Dragon Tail here. He does go for the Stone Edge, so that is Stone Edge number 4. And counting, of course, and we're going to get a Dragon Tail off here and get rid of this thing. Except it misses! Oh, no. Oh, no. Now what? I'm not in a range where I can't sub again. Now, the only reason I was in that position was because of the paralysis. So I guess that kind of works out, you know, the percentages. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I know that I needed that Dragon Tail to hit, and I need Dragonite to win this battle. So it's looking more like we need to sacrifice Chimpino's thing. And we need Unfezant too, because that Amoonguss is going to prove to be a huge problem if I don't have Unfezant. And Unfezant can do way more damage to it than Infernape can. So we're going to let him hit with another Stone Edge here. That definitely brings us all the way down to our Focus Sash. Poor Chimpino. And I kind of want to just encore you into that and make sure that you have to keep using it until, you know, you can't use it anymore. I kind of want to do that. I don't think you're going to switch. You're not going to forfeit your boosts, right? Right? I mean, boost. I shouldn't say boost. It's, I guess, he only used Hone Claws once. That would just sacrifice Infernape. But I don't really need it for anything. That's the thing. We need to look at what is going to win us this battle. And Unfezant and Dragonite are the players here. That's what's going to win us this match, not this Infernape. So as silly as it seems to just basically sacrifice it, we need to look at the long haul here. And Vacuum Wave and Fire Blast, I don't know. Fire Blast really isn't going to do that much. So I'm going to opt to go for the Encore here. It fails as he goes for the EQ. It failed. That must mean that he only had 5 Stone Edges. And he used them all. So his only attacking move is Earthquake, which means this Aerodactyl is powerless against the rest of my team, which are both flying types. I'm going to roost up here. I'm not afraid of you. We may see a switch. I'm not sure. Yeah, he only has Earthquake as a damaging move, because we definitely saw all 4 moves. He used Earthquake against Nidoqueen. He used the Roost to get back up to full health here. He used the Hone Claws initially, and he was just firing off Stone Edge after Stone Edge. Oh yes, the Amoonguss is still frozen. I forgot about that. And now, you know, I'm not wasting any time. We're gonna just roost up, and I would like Dragonite to be at as high of a health point as we can possibly have it be here. And now we have a couple of options, and my opponent has a couple of options too. You can try to have this Amoonguss thaw out if you want to risk that, but or you could switch out to get the Regenerator. I'm gonna sub here because if he stays in, he's gonna Spore, and I do not want to be put to sleep. He does thaw out, and he goes for the Sludge Bomb. Okay, so he doesn't go for the Spore, and it turns out that the freeze really didn't matter that much because he thawed out. That was the first turn, wasn't it? Or maybe at tops, second turn. So that ended up not being that big of a deal. Just the principle of getting a freeze is still bad enough. Part of me wishes that they either changed the mechanics of that or just removed it entirely. I feel like it's just a silly status condition. For most people, it's, you know, the one that you hate the most. But we're behind a substitute. I'm going to roost up all the way here. We'll get up to full health, and our multi-scale is intact behind a substitute, which means that, never mind. Our substitutes will be harder to break if we were at max health, of course, but never mind. It's broken because he already hit it the turn before. So we know that it takes 2 Sludge Bombs to break a sub. And what I want to happen here is we want to set up a sub, and we want a Dragon Tail. I would like to Dragon Tail this Amoonguss out while behind a sub. That would be like the best case scenario. I don't know if that's going to happen though, because he's just going to keep going for Sludge Bombs. I mean, he doesn't have any reason not to. And as much as I would love to just switch in on Pheasant, I can't. So I have to try to do something with Dragonite here. And we miss another Dragon Tail. That's back-to-back Dragon Tails that I missed. I don't like that. We missed one against the Aerodactyl, and the next time we went for it against the Amoonguss, we missed it. That's a 90% accurate move. Some weird things are happening in this battle, like the freeze, the subsequent fall, like the turn after or the second turn after. Back-to-back Dragon Tail misses. We had a couple of critical hits, I think. I don't know, maybe that was the last battle. Things all blend together. I recorded these back-to-back. He's just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb. So, like I said, I don't really like doing this because I'm just subbing. I'm just subbing and not doing anything entertaining. I would like to be at a decent HP range, behind a sub, Dragon Tail, and go from there. He's recovered almost all of his HP, and he'll be at full health after the Regenerator, which is unfortunate. Thanks to the Dragon Tail miss, of course, but like I cannot switch in on Pheasant on a Sludge Bomb because I know I'll get poisoned with my luck, and I don't want that to be the difference because I would really be upset if that ended up being the difference. So out comes Haxorus, and this is going to be for all the marbles here. I need to make a prediction. This Haxorus most likely outspeeds if it runs... Actually, even if it runs 0 speed investment, it still outspeeds because Haxorus actually has some decent speed and Dragonite kind of doesn't at base 80 and uninvested. I'm going to predict a Dragon Dance, and we're going to go for a Dragon Tail right off the bat. If he just opts to go for the... He does. He goes for the Dragon Dance. Fantastic. If he went for Outrage or Dragon Claw, we were dead. And the match was probably over there. That saves our tail. I don't know why you would do that. I know I predicted it, so it's like, why would you even question it if you really predicted it? But I just had a feeling. The way he played his Galvantula, it just seemed like that's what he would do. He'd just be the type to just come in instead of a Dragon Dance, regardless of the circumstances. Of course, he doesn't know what Mind Pheasant is either, so maybe he thought that was Scarf, and he was trying to get the jump on that. I'm not really sure. So the Haxorus is gone, and that was his last big sweeping threat. That Aerodactyl is powerless. I'm pretty sure. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure. Unless my brain is failing me here, which is also possible. He's going to go for the Sludge Bomb, and now we are back in the position that we were before. It's like half this battle is just me subbing with a Dragonite. Oh, and he's recovering more due to the Black Sludge. He's going to recover even more due to the Regenerator. Amoonguss is a troublesome Pokemon. It really is. He opts to go for the Giga Drain this time, which is quad resisted. That's not going to break the sub. So he got a Sludge Bomb, he got 2 hits off, and we're still behind a sub. And Dragon Tail, thankfully, does not miss. And we do a nice chunk. I mean, he's going to get a lot of that back due to the Regenerator, as I mentioned. The Aerodactyl is going to come out now. And he'll take, a little bit of damage due to the rocks, of course. I guess it's a hefty chunk, 25%. He is Flying type after all. Despite being down in Pokemon, essentially. I can't talk. Essentially, we actually are tied because the Galvantula is dead, of all things. So he's going to Roost. I guess that's really the only thing he can do. It would have to get to a point where he's struggling for him to actually do much. Dragon Tail almost does 50% to a Mega Aerodactyl, and we are uninvested. That's crazy talk. Out comes the Amoonguss. We're still behind the sub as he takes damage due to the rocks and the spikes. And that Aerodactyl definitely is going to be in trouble coming back in. At that range that he was at, he's going to take another 25% due to the rocks. I would switch in Galvantula here, get more Regenerator. No, he's just going to go for the Sludge Bomb. If Dragon Tail connects, this Amoonguss is dead. And that all will... Again, I can't talk! I cannot formulate words to describe this situation. That will all but seal the match for us. Because... I mentioned it like 9,000 times. Galvantula is not a thing that we have to worry about. The Aerodactyl, actually, he's going to go out into the Galvantula now and just sacrifice it, I guess. Why not? Because, and that's actually a smart play when you think about it. Because if he brings in the Aerodactyl there, I can Dragon Tail again, and he will take another 25% due to the rocks. Because we'll Dragon Tail him, he'll go out, Galvantula will come in, the Galvantula would die due to the hazards, and Aerodactyl will come back in, and judging by where his HP is, with the Dragon Tail damage, he would be dead. So that would be the match. That was the only play he could make. And now we just have this Aerodactyl out here. And we're going to just go ahead and switch in on Pheasant here, because I'm not afraid of this thing. I don't think he has any Stone Edges. He's going to Roost. So he's not giving up. He's going to try to get this down to a struggle fest. Which it won't really be a struggle fest because I have too much PP. Too much PP for you! But we'll see how much return does. It is stab. It is choice banded. And Unpheasant has a lot of power behind it. Look how much damage that does! That is a resisted hit. And he's just going to spam Roost. I don't know how long this is going to go on. Maybe either I'm going to get a critical hit and he's just going to go down in one hit, or he's eventually going to run out of Roost. Roost, even with max PP ups, only has 16 PP, if I am remembering correctly. So that's only half of what Return has. So I can essentially do this all day to you. Eventually you're going to have to go for Hone Claws or Earthquake, neither of which I'm scared of. And that is eventually going to be the match. And I think he's actually gaining a little bit of ground here. He's just about at full health. So we'll go for the return, and yeah, this is going to be a win for us, eventually. I don't know how long this is going to go on, but this is eventually going to be a win for us, so this team is 2-0. And we were in 2 very close matches against very interesting teams. So that's pretty cool. I think I will change the team next time around. And wow, he survives with how much HP is that? 1.5 HP? And he's paralyzed and he can't move, so that is officially going to put this match to bed. Thank you very much for the match, Blake. I know you had been asking in the comment section for a long time, but I just, people are asking all the time if they can battle, and it's I don't want to say it's a tough thing, but hey, everybody's trying to get a battle. I try to give battles to as many people as possible, so I'm happy I was finally able to give you yours. The new games are coming out shortly. In fact, they may already be out when this video goes up. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play out as far as when this is uploaded. But yeah, so we have other things to look forward to. This may be one of the last X and Y Wi-Fi battles we see on this channel. Who knows? But I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do. And I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.